My goal is to communicate clearly enough the first time that they come back time and time again and get more and more meaning.
Right.
But if you don't even have something to communicate the first time, they don't have time to work on it in a show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They can go home and study your records and play them backwards and see if you said any bad words and things. But they're not going to, get it as an audience member. They're going to talk to the person at the next table, unless you're a legend already.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Well,
that's
communication is also a two-way street. I mean, we're not standing up and pontificating up there when we're performing. We're communicating, and it's really, and not only are you giving information, but the other person is taking the information in and adding what they know
exactly.
to add to that, if you leave them that space. So maybe, in some ways, if you do write it too clear-cut, and this is exactly what it is, without any little holes and little ways to let themselves in, then you're not communicating, you're just stating.
And that's why I say if you write with visuals, they
Right?
will put themselves into your
Right.
story, even if all of the pictures don't totally make sense. That's why, a number of artists get away with a little obliqueness in their lyrics, because there's so many pictures, the audience is putting themselves into those
Right.
pictures.
Well, that makes sense. My first song that I ever wrote that actually was about the same subject from beginning to end was with you. Because I used to just be like, I like that verse, that works, I like that chorus. And they had nothing to do with each other. I never knew what I was saying. I was just kind of, it sounded cool, whatever.
Right.
But it takes courage to write a song that's true.
Well, that's true. I remember when Anna first came to class, and you were such a great singer. I mean, we were all just, oh my God. And remember Sally Zito was in that same class, and you were both just so great. But there was something maybe in the second verse that was like a hole in it, and I thought, oh man, when she gets those holes closed up, she is going to be an awesome force to
Yeah, I
be.
had a lot of holes before I sang. I never had any idea what I was writing about. And I would slap a title on it at the end, and yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing that I appreciate too about what you teach with your craft is that you can write very truthfully and sort of on the nose, but if you're crafty, it has different meanings to it. It has different levels to it. So my goal is to always engage them the first time they hear it, so they know exactly where we are. I feel that way too. If there's a line that loses them, it's over. I have to keep them engaged the whole time. And then hopefully there's something interesting enough that they'll come back, and I'm purposely trying to put in the twists and the different meanings so that when they come back, they get, they hear it a second time, and when they're in a different mood, in a different space, they get something more out of it. And to me, that's the goal of the craft, is that you're planting that stuff as treats,
I remember one time, Tracy Newman was, they were interviewing her when I was, honored by LA Women in Music, and she said, you said something about, it's like you found out, you've been making pot roast your whole life, and you found out there's a recipe.
There's actually a recipe that you can follow, and you can change little things too.
Yeah.
You don't just have to make the one your grandmother made.
That's true.
Not that that's bad.
Wow.
It's a great metaphor.
Pot roast, songwriting. Who knew?
Well, when you talk about pictures, though, that just takes you right back to country music, though. I mean, the best of the country music is just filled with pictures.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
also
And
explains
clarity.
the uprise of the popularity of country music, because there's lots of pictures in the craft of it. I think whenever people get bombarded with similar pop music, like a dumbed down type pop music, people tend to get numb after a while and crave something opposite from that. And I think that that's the reason for the uproar of people really diving into country. I know that I've been listening to country more than I ever have in my whole life, and I was never really a big country fan at all, but just listening to the pictures that these songwriters are creating, and even Crazy Heart, he won an Oscar in the music, and the guy that wrote the music, I mean, it's just amazing. People are really, really wanting to tap into that sensitive / picture world, and country music, I think, does it perfectly.
Well, it's true, but if you put pictures in an R&B tune, you could rule the world. You know what I mean?
The good ones have them.
Yeah, they do. They sure. They're not used to that kind of craft in certain genres. No, I don't mean R&B isn't, because some of the greatest songs in the world are R&B songs, but there's certain genres, everybody knows that a country song is probably gonna be well crafted if it makes the distance. But that's not always the case for every genre. So I think, because I have rappers in my class, I have like every genre, and they all do the same steps. And boy, I'm telling you, that song that Sean Stewart ended up with, that rap song, oh my God.
Nothing makes me cry from happiness like country music songs.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they're not, it's not because they're sad.
I
It's
mean,
just-
I was crying at
they
your
touch
song,
me.
and it's not sad at all. Just the craft is so
Yeah.
good. It's just technical expertise itself adequate to produce an emotional impact. And I start crying when I hear a really good song.
No
For
trucks.
the record, I like country music again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do
yeah.
too. I do too. I never did growing up.
Yeah, neither did I.
Merle Haggard. Yeah, I just had to say
Love
that.
the hack.
That's right. And you've got a song about him too.
I love Merle Haggard.
For me, it's Willie Nelson, Dolly Parton, Full Scores. I like them.
Hugh Presswood.
Hugh Presswood.
He's a man. Maybe he'll see this and come calling.
There you go.
There you go.
Anyway. Well, thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. All my stars especially to demonstrate my steps and everything. And we'll be doing this again.
Thanks, Harry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.